Hey everybody, this is Gloria Ward, and I want to thank you guys for being here tonight for another I'm Loving Me webinar. And tonight I got somebody special that is on this webinar, somebody that I know you are going to notice. And we tried to grab her up before things blew up because when we saw this, we knew that people was going to come at her for real. We just knew it. We just knew it. So we made the call. She showed up, and I'm so happy. And guys, it is Theresa Songbird, the lady from the Trumpet Awards that said, "You so black." Lord have mercy. Thank you so much for being here. And thank you for taking the time out to actually talk to us today. Thank you.
Oh man, it's my pleasure to be here. I appreciate y'all loving it so much. I just want to be able to talk about it. It's like a self-love experience. So anytime got a platform to talk about Black people loving themselves, yes, let's do that. Yes.
Yes. And so what we do here at the I'm Loving Me Project, our goal is to inspire 1 million women to love themselves. And we've been on that journey where we've been sharing so many stories of different women, trying to encourage them and trying to let them know that those things that they see in the mirror are that they believe are their limited beliefs are really their strengths, and how they can use that strength to go ahead and change the world, because what they understand and what we know, even like through your work, is that those things that you think that are not pretty or this or that is actually something that people love, that you should love. So,
Absolutely.
so what we say here, is like for you in your journey, what was it that you saw when you looked in the mirror when you started your journey?
I think the image has changed over the years.
Mm.
There were definitely some times where I looked in the mirror and the reflection was definitely negative. It was definitely in a self-deprecating place. And then it shifted over the years, depending on what's happening in my life. So I think you have to look at the dynamics of what you do with what you see in those times in the mirror. Like there was definitely a part of my life where I went through depression. And in that part of my life, I didn't value myself very much at all. I didn't think much of myself. I didn't think much of my health mentally, physically, or with how I was dealing with interpersonal relationships.
Right.
So going from that, and it's funny that you talk about like finding the beautiful things, the beautiful parts of your struggle, and making the ugly parts a resource for your success. My mom, when I went through depression, my mom was the first person to notice, and she really was like, she fell in deeply into being my spiritual leader in that moment. And she had me read this book called Hind's Feet on High Places. And it's a religious based text, but it's basically about like this animal that doesn't believe that God cares about him because of the way he's made, because he's made ugly, he's made rough, he's made in this way that just doesn't seem like anybody's ever going to love him. But he's also made in this way that, like, yes, you might be ugly or rough, your feet may look awkward, but the way you're made is you're the most nimble animal to climb this mountain.
Yes.
You're the most nimble, you're the most capable creature for the task at hand.
Mm-hmm.
And like I don't, it's times in my life where that book comes way back into reference. And right now, like, I'm grateful because the God just put it back on me just to recenter my mind and what all this, because a lot is happening right now,
Of course.
just from people just noticing. And I'm grateful for it. I'm super grateful for it. Mm-hmm. But it just makes me very aware that I have to be dialed into the fact that God has created me for this task at hand right now. And that is always the case, no matter what you see in the mirror, because you don't know what the endeavor is in front of you. But sometimes the emotional place that you are in presently is exactly the place God needs you to be in, to operate in you and to have his work operate in you properly. So that when you get it, when you come out of it, you can be so invigorated in it. You can be immovable in it. You understand?
Right. And it's like just hearing you said your mom poured into you and you were doing like a lot of reading, but your voice is so powerful even when you're talking and you sound so sure of yourself. It's like, where did that come from? How did you get to that point? Was it the reading? Was it mommy? Was it things?
I come from a family of very headstrong women. Gotcha. Every single woman in my family knows who she is. Even like at the, you know, whether they, my grandmama was a housekeeper, you know, before she passed. I have one grandmother who was a housekeeper and another one who's a school, elementary school principal. And both of them took extreme pride in their work, both of them in their ability to take care of their family and to take care of the people they took care of at their job. Mm-hmm. So I think that kind of just trickled down throughout everybody. I've always grown up with a unafraid spirit. I've always been kind of like, I'm gonna do what I want to do. So, and nobody ever stopped me. So,
and I think that's why, you know, your poem was so powerful, because your whole character and your personality and everything just came through that. So how did you actually get into poetry? Like, was that something that was in the family too, or did you discover it, or how did that happen?
No, I'm like the black sheep of my family. Everybody in my family is like teachers. They're working corporate America. Everybody's got like real jobs and benefits and health insurance and all of them wonderful things. And I went to college and studied music. Like everybody knew by the time I was 18 that I was not going to be on the beat. I was not going to be on the beaten path at all. I was going to be the black sheep. I'm going to walk to my own drummer. I'm going to be the drummer in my own band. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody knew that off gate about me. So for me, the poetry, like the performing, I've always been a ham. I've always been in somebody's choir, in somebody's show, in somebody's dance. I was a stepper in high school, but I started writing poetry when I was 14 just to have something to do. And when I was like 17, my English teacher stopped me in the hallway and he kind of like cornered me. He was like, you know, I've asked you every single year to come and be a part of speech team. You're in your senior year now. And I had done I was doing all this other stuff because I was in a really white school. So I wanted to identify with being a black girl. Mm-hmm. So at my little white high school, we had this thing called the HF Steppers, which was like, you know, like I'm a Delta, you know what I'm saying? You see my little... Yeah. So, you know, in terms of like Greek step show stepping, that's what I did in high school, my freshman, sophomore, and junior year. And by my junior year, I was the president of the step squad. I was the head stepper in charge. You understand?
I know that's right.
I was running stuff my junior year of high school. I was like the little black, because that was the thing to do. Right. But by my senior year, I had done everything. I didn't have any more to do for the step squad. So my English teacher, my speech teacher was like, come on out to the speech team. You ain't got nothing to do. It's Friday. You ain't got nothing to do. I went and I was terrible, girl. Them first, I was terrible. I was terrible when I started. But by the end of it, I won. I'm in the record books. I only did it for 1 year. And in 1 year, I went from being the absolute worst to the Illinois state champion for poetry reading and competition. Yes. And in that moment, that's when I knew for a fact. I was like, oh, this a thing. Right. I could do this. I could do this for real, for real.
Right. Oh, man. And so you continued the journey.
Yeah.
You kept doing and grinding and doing your poetry. How did you get on the Trumpet Awards?
Okay. Let me tell you about God and good friends and people living in their purpose.
Okay.
I have a wonderful sister friend. Her name, and if you're a poet, if you're a person who follows poetry in the world, especially if you're a black person, black woman following poetry in the world, you've heard of this woman. Her name is Georgia Me.
Yep, I did.
Georgia Me. I'm in my house. I live 2 blocks from Georgia Me.
Really?
Like, this is friend for real. When I was homeless and didn't have nowhere to go in Atlanta, I slept on Georgia's couch for months.
Wow.
Like, this is my friend for real, for real. Georgia was out of town in Phoenix, and the production called her to do the show. And she was like, girl, I ain't even in Atlanta. I can't do this. And she recommended 3 poets to the Trumpet Awards. And all of us did the due diligence of, sending in our clips and all of that stuff.
Right.
And when I showed up, I expected to see the other 2 people that Georgia recommended.
Uh-huh.
And I'm looking around and I'm like, it ain't nobody here, Lord.
Yeah.
I didn't have any representation. I didn't have an assistant. I was at the Trumpet Awards alone.
Wow.
Just looking around like fresh country, honey. Just there go T.I.
Right.
Ooh, there go Louis Gossett Jr. Ooh, there go Bobby Jones. I ain't seen Bobby Jones.
Right.
I don't know better, but Georgia, I don't know. When my video hit 250,000 views, I called Georgia crying. I was like, baby, you just don't understand. I couldn't never do this without you. So, yes, I'm grateful that, I had the poem. I'm grateful that they liked the poem. But if Georgia me wouldn't have called me and said, girl, call this girl right now, I wouldn't have.
But I think all of that was just, divine intervention. You were supposed to do it on that night during that day with all the stuff that's going on with the designing companies and all that stuff, and how I saw today how they having like these little things that is interfering with kids, trying to get them to kill themselves and do all that.
Man.
That little whatever they have going on.
Momo challenge or whatever it's called.
Like that. Yeah. And just to see you and hear you and the passion that you put into your poem, it was so refreshing because, like my friend was saying, there's a lot of young African-American girls who believe that they are not the prettiest thing because their skin is darker than someone else's, right? And when you made that comment about your skin is so black when you smile, it's like, but people would make fun of that when they were little.
Oh, absolutely.
And say, oh, we can't see you smile so we can see where you at. You know what I'm saying?
But the whole thing, it goes so much further back than that. And that's what, like, when people really start to unpack all of the underline, that's why I wanted to release the full poem, because you only get a snippet of, the Trumpet Awards, you got a snippet of what is a 4-minute long poem. And when you unpack all of the pieces and the details that I tried to put in this one poem, what I want you to get is a real, a sense that we have to love all, like you said, we have to love all the ugly parts of our history. So the whole notion of that, ooh, you so black, and yo mama, all of those type of jokes, all of that joning goes all the way back to the slave block auctions. It goes back to, and that is not, it operates from such a place of love, because it comes from this thing of us trying to keep each other from being sold apart.
Yes,
that's why we joining each other in the first place. Not to degrade one another in public, but to keep our families together, to keep from being pulled apart on the auction block. I'm gonna make you look dumb and lazy.
Yep.
Because I want you to stay with me. I'm talking about you, you talk about me, we stay together, okay?
Right. That is true.
And we have to own that. We have to own that in a place that understands that, yes, there's black on black crime. Yes, there is all types of insanity happening inside of the black community. But if that's the only thing we ever focus on, if that's the thing we always focus on the most, how do we metaphysically put ourselves in a position to improve what we're doing? How do we ever, because it takes, because I believe in the power of metaphysics. So
Me
what
too.
you think about, you bring about. And if we are constantly having our mind pushed towards such and such being killed, or such and such, or how we don't do for each other, how do we garner enough good energy to propel ourselves to the next level? And I don't want to walk around with blinders on to what's happening in the Black community, but I do want to be, when people see me, I want them to know I'm finna squeeze so much Black love juice on you. Oh, you ain't gonna be able to operate in nothing but happiness.
Oh man, Theresa Songbird, it's coming through this whole thing. Like, I'm feeling it, and I just say thank you. So what is life like right now? Like, what's going on? What are you doing? I know you're so busy. I know people are coming at you. I saw Ebony Magazine share your stuff. When I saw see, the thing is that I told the girl that's working with me to call you, and she said, look at this video. She sent it to me. She said, look at this video ASAP. And so I look at the video, and we call each other, and I'm like, oh my gosh. She's like, man, I inboxed her right away. I'm like, you only got 24 to 48 hours after that. That's why I told you on the phone. I said, look, did you see how your video? You was like, no, I ain't see it yet. You only got a couple of more hours, and it's going to blow. You are it. You are it. You are such like a fresh voice. You are such a fresh voice. And the thing is that you know that you live on, when you know that you living on purpose, is the passion that you bring with it. It's the passion. And the passion is really what speaks very loud in you. And it just makes it so refreshing to see that it is somebody who is making a statement through poetry that is getting people to not only think, but to read, to put it up in their house. Like, we would have stuff in our house, do all these wonderful things. So it's like you feel like you back in that time where you are excited to be Black, and you're excited to, be in a situation where it's like, there go my girl. Like, that's my girl, the songbird right there. She did an amazing job. So now I know all of that is also a lot of pressure too, because I know people want whatever it is that you're offering, right? And they want more. Are you getting a whole bunch of calls and phone blowing?
I'm definitely #booked and busy.
Yeah, I know that's right.
But I'm also I'm grateful. Like, the things that are happening personally for my family, that is putting me in a position where, like, it's right on time. Everything is falling out right on time. And hopefully, like, there's no hoping. I'm certain that in the next 60 days, the level of the business that I'll be able to execute is going to be undeniable. And that alone is going to really allow me to do so much more. Like, you see, I'm sitting up underneath one of my paintings.
Right.
I do so much. And I just want to be able to, like, really let the world see
they will.
How much, not just I do, but how much poetry can do. So I just want everybody to have that opportunity to just get a little taste of what poetry can do, not just from me, but like from Georgia Me, from the Abysses, from the Emerald Greens, from the K-Love, the Poets, there's so many excellent artists that are my running mates in this game, That's why I'm looking
now is like they have a voice right now, because now you have, set the path where you're able to introduce these people, because I see not only are you in poetry, but I see you speaking to like women, to Black people, everybody. Like, you have been chosen. You can see it all over you, and the gift is there. Like, whatever it is, the world needs you, for real. The world needs you. And all God had to do was prove it to you. And now that he proved it to you, now you can run as fast as you can. You know what I'm saying? So it's already done, and it's already there. So we're not gonna take up too much of your time because we already know that you gotta go change the world, right?
Yeah, I was just thinking, I was like, oh, I got to call somebody else about, well, because I did so good responding to your interview, but there's two other people who I got to tell.
Hey, I already know. But what is it that you have? How can we follow you? You know, what can we get from you? How can we bring you into our homes? Just let us know.
You can follow me everywhere at THA Songbird. If you type in THA, like Atlanta, you type in THA Songbird, you'll get my Instagram, my Facebook, my website. On the website, I've made a special button on the menu bar that says You So Black. So if you want to get anything You So Black related, you can see the video. Right now, it's the videos that are posted, the Trumpet Award version and the full-length version. And you can also purchase your You So Black poster. Now, here's the thing. I've just started selling these posters. So I'm still like, the inventory for the posters won't allow me to sell more than one poster per household.
Okay.
But give me some, y'all just pray with me.
Oh, we with you. We understand. Now,
I promise you, I'm working hard to get like good. We're going to be in You So Black aprons. We're going to be You So Black t-shirts. We're going to be You So Black in the gym, down our legs, on our leggings. You So Black socks. We just got to get a whole...
And it will come. It will come.
Whole lifestyle, because I really believe in sourcing for us.
Exactly.
So I'm trying to get it together. I got cousins. I got my play nieces over here. She's in college. I'm trying to make sure that these next 2 years of college is easy for her.
I know that.
If I can.
I know. So, Miss Songbird, thank you so much for being here. Again, we ain't gonna take up too much of your time. I thank you for doing the interview with us, and anything that we can do, we definitely gonna share in our community. We got over 2,000 women, and I know that once they see you, they'll share it personally. So you will get a lot of love from us, and we'll definitely be here to support you do whatever it is that we need to do. And I thank you. And remember, the world needs you. So it's not only the stuff that you're doing, that voice and that passion you have, that's the thing that's going to take you to the top. I promise you. I'm telling you.
I thoroughly received that. Thank you.
So thank you so much for being here. Guys, you already heard her. You already know the passion. I'm going to actually put up the video for those who have not seen it of her performance, so that you can understand why we got so excited about her being here. And I thank you guys for being here, and I thank you again for being here, and thank you so much. Okay.
Oh, no problem. Peace, y'all. Be your best selves. Love on you.
All right. Much success to you.
Yes. Thank you.
Bye.
Peace.